all Sophie had to do was point a finger and pick from these books filled with everything she needed for the wedding of her dreams. A wedding bigger than life to a storybook prince. A wedding that had been her wish since she was a little girl. But instead of joy, Sophie felt sick, thinking of the monster she was marrying. That's the problem with wishes. They need to be specific. King says ya to work till super, wisely ordered it from the door. She started to leave, then stopped. Oh, you have been asked to wear this all this time, he said, pointing as a white dress hung up on the back of the door, prim, wavy, and even more modest than the mace. Over my dead body, Sophie flamed. Wisely smiled ominously. Well, let the king know. He left with his pirates, closing the door behind them. Sophie waited a few seconds, then went for the door. It didn't budge. That locked her in. No windows either. No way to send Agatha a message. Sophie turned, realizing the maids were still there, posted like statues in their white dresses, faces hidden, as they crunched the wedding books. Do you speak? Sophie snapped it. The maid stayed silent. She smacked a book out of one of their hands. Say something, she demanded. The maid didn't. Sophie snatched the book from the next maid and threw it against the wall, sending pages flying everywhere. Don't you get it? He's not our son. He's not the real king. And his brother is the snake. The snake that attacked the kingdoms and killed people. Ryan pretended his brother was the enemy so he could look like a hero and become king. Now they're going to kill Tedros. They're going to kill the true king. Only one of the maids flinched. They're savages. They're murderers, Sophie shouted. None of them moved. Furious, Sophie swiped more of the books and tore pages apart, ripping out the bindings. We have to do something. We have to get out of here. With a cry, she flung leather and parchments across the room, knocking the floating maps into walls. Then she saw the snake watching her. He stood silently in the threshold of the open door, his coat and blue suit illuminated in the lamplight. Japheth had his brother Ryan's copper hair, only longer and wilder, as well as Ryan's scarlet face, but paler, a coat milky white, like he had been sucked of blood. One book's missing, he said. He tossed it on the table. Execution. Heart sinking, Sophie peered it open to see an array of assets to choose from, followed by options for chopping blocks, each with a sketch of Tedros kneeling, his neck stretched over the block. There were even choices for baskets to catch his severed head. Slowly, Sophie looked back up at the snake. I assume there will be no more trouble about the dress, said Sir Japheth. He turned to leave. You animal! You disgusting scrum! Sophie hissed at the snake's back. You and your brother use smoke and mirrors to infiltrate Camelot and steal the real king's crown, and you think you can get away with it? Her blood boiled, the fury of a witch rekindling. I don't know what you did to trick the Lady of the Lake, or what Ryan did to trick Excalibur, but that's all it was. A trick. You can put my friends in jail. You can threaten me all you want. But people can only be fooled for so long. They'll see who you two are in the end. That you're a soulless, murdering creep, and he's a fraud. A fraud whose throat I'll cut the second he shows his face. Better get on with it, then, a voice said as Ryan entered, bare-chested, in black breeches, his hair wet. He glared at Japheth. I told you I'll handle her. And then you went for a bath, said Japheth, while she refuses to wear mother's dress. Sophie lost her breath, not just because she had a storm of rage ready to unleash, or because two brothers were dolling her up in their mother's clothes, but because she had never seen Ryan without his shirt before. Now as she looked at him, she saw his chest was just as ghost-white as Japheth, while Ryan's arms and face glowed a deep tan, the same tan that farmers in Gotherden had after they watched in the hot summer sun. Ryan saw her ogling him, and he gave her a cocked grin, as if she knew what she was thinking. Even the tan had been part of the wish to prevent anyone from seeing they were brothers, a wish to make Ryan look like a garden lion battling a cold-hearted snake, when, in fact, the lion and the snake were perfect twins all along. As Sophie stood there, taking in their matching smirks and sea-colored stares, she could feel a familiar fear, the same fear she had felt when she kissed Rathel. No, this fear was sharper. She had known who Rathel was. She had chosen him from the wrong reasons. But she had learned from her fairy tale. She had fixed her mistakes, only to fall in love with an even worse villain. And this time, there wasn't one of him, but two. Wonder what kind of mother could raise cowards like you? Sophie snarled.